Wait, we're live? You gotta be kidding me. We had all these technical difficulties. I didn't think we were even gonna have a show today. Welcome everybody to the Home Improvement Run. I am Prince Leaf, and with me as always is my partner in crime, Tapatio Jay. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing great. It's about time. We're back to the Home Improvement, probably one of the greatest platforming games of our generation. You guys are in for a treat. Prince Leaf has been showing some nice improvement on some of these latest runs, so it should be a good time.
Nice improvement. Yeah, I see what you did there. Well, as you guys are seeing right now, the game has already started. That's because there's no start screen to this game. It just kind of starts itself as it plays through the intro. Since we were having such technical difficulties, it played through the entire thing. So I'm going to go ahead and reset and we can go ahead and get started.
Just to give you guys the heads up, this game is incredibly accurate to the Home Improvement universe's lore. We're going to be going through some of the greatest episodes and scenes from the 8 seasons that was Home Improvement. So hope you're all ready for good old Tim the Toolman Taylor to get us through a journey here.
All right, and I'm ready to start. And so we will go in 3, 2, 1. Oops, sorry, false start. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, timer didn't start. Yeah, problem on the first split. So my timer on my side is a little delayed, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Dino figured that out on his end. So, all right. To kind of give a little background as to what's going on in this game, if you watch the intro, what happens is they're about to introduce a new tool line called the Tim Taylor Edition Special Tools. They are not able to do that because someone steals them. And they leave a note saying that Tim should go back to the Stone Age where he belongs. And they process that as, oh, well, maybe it's on a set that's also located on the same studio we're shooting our show in. And that's why we're in Jurassic Park all of a sudden.
Yeah, Tim being as reckless as always, just, even if they are, not real dinosaurs and props, just firing his nail gun and hammering them wildly. This is the Tim we know and love. As you see, the objective kind of that Leaf is getting through this level pretty quickly here. You're having to go around and grab all these crates using some of the most obtuse controls you'll ever see in a video game. And there we go.
Yep, first level's already done. And just to kind of, flex a little bit as, Tim's doing here. High score! I got a high score on the first level! Because, yeah, it's so easy to get. You'll get it on the first level every single time. The way the controls work is that you have designated buttons for special weapons, also kind of demolition, I guess, would be the proper term for it. So you have your dash button, which is the Y button. The jump button is B, and A is your kind of... Oh, I missed the jump there. Hold on. Oh! Yeah, I was doing so well earlier. I do promise you guys, I did get a world record last night in this game. I also did hit my split.
Leaf does have an ability to make this look a little bit more capable of being able to move around in an easy way. It is incredibly hard to move around in this game. So it makes for an interesting aspect of the speedrun itself, is that you have to really put these controls and these tools together to actually get through these levels pretty quickly, as Leaf is doing. Quite a challenge.
Mm-hmm. I'll finish the controls, but first, do you want to explain what that power-up was that I just grabbed, Jay?
So the power-up's going to be very useful for Leaf going through this run. Power-up is kind of a twofold item for you. It will power up the tools that Tim is going to be using. As you can see, we're getting some crazy effects out of the saw, and the hammer now has a bunch of, sparklies coming out of it and stuff like that. But also, it's going to be used as almost a shield. When Tim gets hit, that power-up pops up. And Leaf's going to be trying to grab that every single time as he grabs the big gold nut right there.
What I just did there was a little bit of a damage boost, and it was a very tight jump there, but I was able to get it before it went away.
Yeah, and basically that's going to be used throughout this run. It's going to be very useful. There's going to be times, a lot of damage boosts that you're going to be taking throughout this run that grabbing that power up again is going to be very vital. It makes some of the tools actually useful. We're going to...
And what I just did there was, I can't actually make that jump without the power up, so this actually cut out about 20 seconds of moving around. So it's very powerful. It's even more powerful than the weapons themselves, because for most of this run I'm going to be using the nail gun only, but the nail gun, let's say jumper cables, the chainsaw, pretty much any weapon, they do the same damage regardless of what you're using, so it doesn't really, power them up, but yeah. Oop, I needed to go right because I got the power up still.
Well, Tim's staying true to the show, always going for more power, even when it's not necessary whatsoever. So. And
I just clipped through the floor there to get this hard hat. That is the only time I've been able to clip through something in this game. So I know it's possible. Just maybe a little more exploration in the routing, and maybe we can find some clips of some sort eventually in the future.
Yeah, with the way the controls and some of this movement works, you got to figure that there's going to be some corners, some walls to be able to manipulate. But I mean, right now the route is it's pretty quick. You're just flying through this level, dropping through platforms with the cables, using that the extra boosted jump you have with the power up there, all to really kind of get from corner to corner and get all those crates.
Yeah, the power-up also makes me immune to, like, terrain hazards as well. So, like, spikes, fire, not the flame enemies themselves, but I actually need to do a really precise boost here, so you can talk and I'll do serious time. Oh, and I got it! Sweet. That is a very tough jump to get there.
Yeah! That was a clutch move right there. I mean, yeah, you just have to, you have to land on a, paper-thin platform, then utilize an enemy that will be fairly unpredictable from time to time. Along with another enemy shooting at you, there's a lot going on.
And that flying enemy there can also kind of give a random pattern, which I will not be able to utilize maybe, so it's a pretty precise jump, but nailed it, so I'm happy about that one. So trying to keep the power up is important, but there are actually some moments where I may not get it because the tight jump is just too tight, and so this is a moment here. That was very close to the ceiling one, but I was able to retain the power up there, so very good. Again here, I have to kneel down, get a little bit of frame to jump for it, but I still have it.
Yeah, if you have to sit there and actually take those enemies out, that's going to be quite a bit of time. So yeah, being able to utilize that power up and the damage boost is incredible.
Yeah. Even without the power up though, it's actually faster just to take a hit and walk through because it takes 5 hits and they have iframes and you have to wait for them. So it actually is just too time consuming to kill anything in this game. And I will kill a few enemies because for some reason this hammer move actually does more damage to stage enemies. And not bosses, unfortunately, but there are going to be some moments where I just have to save the power-up, because the power-up is the most important thing in this game. So we're already on to our first boss here, and this kind of shows the, ambition this game could have had, but just lazy, poor design choices sometimes, because you see all the platforms in this stage, and I only used about 3 of them, because I don't know. That's... They could have programmed something other than making a stationary boss like that, right? And I made easy work of them in that way.
Well, I've brought this up in previous runs. I've done commentary with you before. This game is kind of amazing in a way. It has a lot of ambition going for it. It's actually quite big as far as the game's concerned. You're talking about 5 sets.
There's 4 sets.
4 sets, 5 levels apiece. A lot of different tools and movement ability. A lot of enemies as far as variety is concerned. So there's a lot of stuff on the board there. Just none of it's executed very well.
Yeah.
So you get this mishmash of stuff that's really hard to control. But you gotta kind of appreciate the ambition the game has.
So as you've just seen, we're on to set 2, and we have also a different setting as well. So because I still have the power up, I'm going to go on a different route this time around. So normally I would go get up there.
you know, this actually being incredibly accurate to home improvement lore. This is probably, I believe, from I want to say season 3, episode 12, where Jonathan Taylor Thomas is abducted by a mummy, and the gang has to go and rescue him. That was quite an adventure. Tim ends up setting him on fire with his flamethrower, as you see Leaf running around and doing so right there.
Yeah, I was actually forced to grab this flamethrower. It's just in an unavoidable situation. I'm going to lose the power-up here just because it wastes time. I'm going to get it right back, though, not too long after this, so it's not really a big loss for this. But anytime I don't have the power-up is kind of a danger zone for this game. This is probably the least dangering zone of the whole entire game, so it's nice, you know, to have that. But it's like the power-up is just a cushion that, you know, ensures that you're going to have a safe moment, except for when you fall in pits, because obviously with the power-up I am immune to spikes and stage hazards, and whenever I get hit I can just jump up for it, but if you fall in a pit it's just game over. And that dynamite you just saw there, do not pick it up. It's a terrible weapon and you'll have a bad time, so I hate this place. Okay and safe here.
Yeah, there are definitely some, as in you know, plenty of these kind of platformer games. You have your good and bad power-ups. You know, like your you know, you want to see a spreader in Contra, and you want to see, you know, maybe a nail gun in this game, as opposed to having the flamethrower or something like that, or the dynamite.
All right. So that jump that I just did on the screen here, that is why the jump is the most important part of the power-up, because what I just did there cut out about a minute of walking around, and I haven't been able to kind of explain how terrible the visual kind of perspective is. Like, you're taking a lot of blind descents and stuff. The platforming section I just cut out by making that jump. Just, you know, that could have been an absolute run killer right there. So I'm very glad I don't have to show you all how brutal that is. But yeah, that saves me a minute. I don't have to go down.
Much like Tim's power tool inventions, you know, acting just on pure faith on those jumps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I did talk about the power-ups and the controls and stuff. I didn't finish what I was talking about. So your A button is your normal weapon, like the nail gun, for example. That's what shoots this. The Y is your dash, the B is your jump, and X is the jackhammer, which is down X, and then it's just pressing X gets the grapple hook, and pressing left or right plus X is what does the hammer. So it's 3 actions mapped to 1 button. And you'll find that if I'm doing the grapple and I instead do a hammer, it's because I'm still running or something, and you'll find that various moments that does happen. And I wish I'd know that ahead of time, except for the fact that the instruction manual, I don't think actually tells you any of that. It just opens up to a sticker that says "Real men don't need instructions." So yeah, do it for real. Do it live.
And that is not wrong. That is actually the case. Like,
it is a printed on sticker, and you cannot remove it. So yeah, interesting, right? Oh, come on now. And you also notice I am grabbing that golden nut every single... It's a nut. I have to grab it because I'm trying to do screen, like, lag reduction, so...
You gotta grab hold of that big gold nut, and, yeah, exactly. Trying to, move that camera, keep as much stuff off the screen as possible. It's gonna be,
Yeah, it's not prevalent right now, like how much the game lags, because, oh, look at this, I can't get the jackhammer off. That's slower, actually, to have that, so you're not going to notice it a whole lot until much later in the run, where I start getting a little more tools and toys to play with. But right now, the weapons I am using are kind of worthless, but there is going to be some moments in the run where I do need to level up my weapons. So the power-up levels up my, like, utility stuff, like the hammer, the grapple, and the jackhammer. Like, it's just mostly the hammer, but the upgrades for the weapons, you have to pick up another set of that weapon, and you can upgrade it 3 times. I'm too far to the right, or left, I mean. Oh, I didn't kill the crab here, or the scorpion, so I need to take a damage boost there to save it. But I'm not going to be upgrading any of my sort of like tool weapons because they are, again, doing the same damage as I normally would just as a level 1. Oh, new routing here, by the way. I'm going to be going right instead of left. I'm going to be jumping through this little secret path here to get around all these like destructible, like disintegrating platforms here, and that cuts out a moment where I have to take a damage boost and wait for a scorpion to shoot me. So I did a little rerouting of that one. It is faster, and then this is also faster as well, which I'm about to do here. I'm going to grab this box here, which is normal, and normally I would just, oh, and nope, it's gone. So never mind, I am not doing it. I needed to keep that power up so that I could still like retain the invulnerability. Unfortunately, I got sniped by one of those little cricket-looking things, so going back to the old path because I need to get that power up back. So I'm going the other way so I can get one. Oh. Oh, come on, get down there.
And this game does give you those opportunities. I mean, you have kind of a ideal route that you're trying to go for. Usually, yeah, utilizing damage boost and that sort of thing. But the game does offer you backup routing opportunities to get back to that original point, or just push on with a slightly different route. So
getting that,
there's the RNG right there, the hammer.
Yeah, getting that block down there, I have to be crouching in order to hit it. So normally I would not get this power up, but it's a safety, and because I got it knocked away, I had to go back that way to get it. Because again, the power up is the most important thing in this run, because you're going to be damage boosting a lot. So if you don't have it, well, particularly later in the game, that's when it starts to really hurt, because you start losing a lot of time. And I do have my splits running, and that has put me behind. So the later half of the game is where everything came together. So unfortunate. I did actually get a world record last night at a 46:40. So here is one of the rare times where I'm actually going to be upgrading my weapon, because this level 2 nail gun is actually the best weapon to use for the next boss. So I'm going to be trying to retain this the whole entire time, and anytime you're on a descending slope, you actually are fighting against gravity the entire time, so it gets pretty slippery there.
Yeah, despite that spread, that's the best weapon. As you can see, that thing shoots in a like a 45-degree, or actually like a 90-degree cone in front of Tim. So pretty wild weapon to use, but it will get the job done.
So I'm gonna take it safe here. Kill these flames with this indestructible nail gun. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a warp to get back to where I started. It's not the intended way to get there, but it's just kind of a shortcut to get you back to where you began and not have to go back around, the way I did. And since I still have this power up here, the part that I needed it for is coming up after this, so I still got to retain it until I get through here. Like, normally, I would have to use the grapple here, but, now important. So this is where a minute could be the difference in the run. So because I have the jump here, I can get up here. If I didn't have that, I'd have to go around and get that crate like down there first. I'm gonna take a little intentional death or hit there. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Hit me? Okay. See, now that was perfect RNG there. I needed them to hit me both times. If the little crickets were down there, I'd probably take a damage boost off them. But I didn't need to do that. So, great.
Yeah, you're able to...
You can go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you need to be able to obviously have some pretty good movement and working these controls yourself. But yeah, some of this stuff really does depend on the enemies, like firing at you, hitting you in certain places so that you have the ability to re-grab the power up. So yeah, it's definitely some on-the-fly routing that always has to be kind of done in this game.
That was another jump I would not have been able to make if I didn't have the power up. I would have to use a grapple and do a completely different jump altogether, but that makes it so much easier just to do that.
Again, crouching off screen, getting the lag reduction. And, the hilarious thing, we haven't really been able to see it yet because Leaf hasn't been taking damage while not having the power up. But when you do, your nuts and bolts fly out you like Sonic coins or Sonic rings. So it's quite hilarious to see that as well. But yeah, not really getting the opportunity, at least flying through it. Here we go to the second set boss.
So this is not the reason why we need the nail gun. This is a boss that has an iframe window, kind of like all the other normal enemies in the game. It's the next one which doesn't have the iframes, and the kind of funky pattern that it has whenever you hit it kind of makes it... Ooh, why am I jumping? I don't need to be jumping. The kind of pattern that the head goes for whenever it actually flies around, since you're kind of getting a little range of about a 90-degree angle whenever you hit these 3 shots, sometimes you can get him in a good pattern, and he'll just kind of fly around you. He's not cooperating right now, so this is very slow. I almost took a stupid hit there. I was going to lose the power-up.
In the TV episode for this, he's screaming Randy and grunting while lighting up with a flamethrower, so interesting bit of there.
Did I do that? So we are on to the worst part of the game, and the reason being that this is actually the set that you don't...
Come on, it's all great. What are you talking about?
This is actually the set of the game where I don't have the power for most of it. Since I actually was able to retain it, I still do have it, which is kind of a bonus. So I can now jump on this spike ball and just clear this gap without having to do... Oh, I almost lost it there. Now I want to get hit here just so I can keep it. I got it, okay. I do really like the grapple hook in this game, even though I don't really like the button combination for it. But there's just an awful lot of speed that you get by just being able to execute that properly every single time you use it.
And of course, you know, this set a reflection of the famous Home Improvement Halloween episode with the guest star of the Bedsheet Ghost here. Quite a classic. Good times were had by all. Brad gets turned into a zombie, but somehow they get him back to the power tools and more power.
Yeah, so I think they won an Emmy for... Oh! I think they won an Emmy for that episode. But
definitely a daytime Emmy, absolutely.
Yeah, what happened there was I was in the middle of the doorway, and I didn't have enough jump height to get back my power, so that's unfortunate, because that's a terrible, rotten time to lose that. But normally I wouldn't have it anymore at this point, so I'm very used to not having said power up. So we can kind of do what I normally do. I take this damage boost here because it's faster to do that than it is to try and grapple over it. And there's a couple other things that are kind of present in the game that I wouldn't have known about if I didn't actually start like doing routing choices. So what's coming up here, this part's not really important because I'm just going to be doing what you've seen pretty much this entire game. I'm going to damage boost through the spider and hope that I get a nut or a bolt on this one. But I'm going to come back, and the hardest part of this stage is the next area here. But what I didn't notice when I first played the game was that there's this hard hat that's just conveniently located right here. And this takes me to the end of the level. So I can jump on this spike ball, get this door, jump through, and there's the crate, and that's the end of the level. So had I not had that hard hat, I would have to maneuver around several spiders and maybe, you know, just a big time loss there, just because it takes so many hits to kill a spider.
And of course, in true Tim Allen fashion, you know, a hard hat, any resemblance of any kind of safety gear being used makes Tim feel invulnerable. And yeah, now I can run through spikes and enemies. I
don't really need the nail gun, but I do want just to kind of have it for a little, like, it's a little bit of a save later, but it's not going to be that important if I lose it. This spider, oh, I didn't cooperate. I would not have been able to get that back, by the way. So that candle that's flying around, that's my favorite enemy in this game because it just kind of makes the, you know, makes my butt clench a little bit because I'm just like, oh shit. Oh, I should probably watch my language. I'm sorry. I forget we're doing. I've done okay up to this point. So there's a dynamite.
PG-13, baby, you get one. Don't worry about it. That's, you know, Tim always dropped an F-bomb every now and then, as we always remember from the daytime.
Yeah, I apologize.
That's why they got the M.
Oh. Oh. Oh, Candle's gonna do it. Oh. Okay, take a little safety here. So if I also had the power up to this moment, I would be able to do another jump. Unfortunately, it's just too difficult to kind of have it's kind of too difficult to retain the power up without having to like take a little bit of a loss of time by slowing down. So I can do the first skip here, which is supposed to be a back way out of this little gap. I can't do it right now. There we go. So it's supposed to be a way to get out of that room because it's a little invisible wall, but because I have a grapple place right by where the hole is, I can use that to get up there, thus cutting out having to walk around the long way. Saves about 20 seconds. There is a hard hat down there in the little acid pool there, but I don't really need it for the rest of the level, so I'm not going to bother. Now, if I wasn't using the level 2 nail gun, the joke on our first run here was that you would get to see it right here, because I'm using the nail gun here, and then it just upgrades, and there we go.
That nail gun is wild. It works when you need it to, and there's the big gold nut yet again. Perfect. Flex on him. Flex on him, Tim. There we go.
So there is a couple like assortment of weapons that you can use. Like there are jumper cable plugs or whatever, which I'm never gonna try to use because they're just horrible. There's the dynamite. There are the plugs right there. There is flamethrower, which I try not to use that much because where the flame actually comes out of the flamethrower is kind of random and it actually doesn't hit most of the time. So I try to avoid that. The chainsaw is going to get its use for one boss fight, but the real MVP of the game is the nail gun, unfortunately, and it's the first weapon you actually get in the game. You're going to actually see all 3 levels of the nail gun used in this run, which you're in for a treat when you see the level 3 version. You're unfortunately not going to see it here because I have to lose it here.
Yeah. Drops form, gets the form right back.
So, because like the power-up, the nail gun also kind of flies up ahead of you, but unlike the power-up, your nuts and bolts also go with it as well, so... But when you got the power-up, that's what you lose instead of the nail gun upgrades and everything else. So that's, again, why the power-up is a very important power-up. Yeah, no pun intended. But this crate is a troll sometimes, because it'll jump when you need to grab it. I actually did that in my world record, so kind of embarrassing. So this is probably one of the only levels I'm going to gain some time over my world record. Oh, I didn't get a bolt there. Oh, the freaking bat, it did not want to hit him for some reason. Okay, so what happened there was I had 11 bolts, so it gave me a 10 bolt plus a 1, and it shot all those to the left, so I got nothing out of it.
The bat put on some jukes and just got around the nail gun there. And yeah, unfortunate.
Well, again, you see how random the nail gun pattern is. It's not always shooting in the same general direction. Like, it's shooting in the same direction, it's not shooting in the same trajectory path that it goes, so it unfortunately didn't play in my favor on that one, so... Which made no sense, because you saw a nut right where I got hit, so... Because I could have just jumped up here, and I got hit in the doorway right before it, so... Yeah. Well, that was kind of weird. Normally the bat would go down. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness, the game just doesn't not want to, or the RNG doesn't want to give me any bolts. Like they want to just send them away from me.
yeah, I mean, there's so many factors that are really random in this game. Yeah, we talked about the nail gun shot pattern. Yeah, how when you lose damage, the spread there, the enemies, how they react, and where they shoot and that sort of thing. So it's having to really, yeah, like you were saying, on the fly, kind of be able to adjust and hopefully maintain. Taking a death, I think, is in this game almost inevitable. Like somewhere along the line, it's just not gonna quite give you what you need.
You know what? I just actually saw something I maybe have to think about next run. So I know I went out there to get the invulnerability, but I just saw something that I might need to do a little further inspection on. See, I haven't thought about this until now, but the way I went in there, I literally just came right back out that way after grabbing a crate. So maybe I can use that to jump up there and save myself some time? It's maybe something worth looking into afterwards. This game is not fully developed just yet, so stuff like that quite often happens right now. I'm only one of 2 runners now, because someone actually put a time on the board. I unfortunately don't know his name by heart right now, but if he's in the chat, please say something. Oh, I need it. So we're coming up to the most important power-up of the game pretty soon, but I'm not going to grab it just yet, but it's coming. So to the right there, that's where the power-up is, but I still got to grab 2 crates before I get to that, and this game is not being nice right now.
Yeah, it's really, like, yeah, the bolt just flying to the other side, having to chase that down just to keep yourself going, because, yeah, just like Sonic, if you have something in there, you're good, but as soon as you're at zeros, next hit, you're gone, and this game will take you out, given the opportunity.
Yeah, normally each crate has like a bolt next to it, so if you die, you just go back to the last crate that you grabbed, so you can maybe get something. There are some moments where that actually doesn't happen, and I haven't died at any of those places yet, so review. I just don't look. I'm not smooth right now. Just trying to keep the commentary going. I think I've just kind of realized that at this point there's no world record chance going on, so I'm trying to just keep it together and finish the run. I do have plenty of lives, so this is a fairly safe run to run at a marathon, but it's very easy to lose time and just lose lives based on certain decisions you make, and I've tried to route the game as safe as possible to prevent any sort of lock-in, so that, I could possibly just end the run right there. I want to make sure I can complete a run. And so that's why we're grabbing this now. And I'm going to try to keep it and go pretty much granny style all the way through this, because I want to make sure I keep it this entire time. So every hit I take is going to be basically just me trying to keep this power up. So this ghost is going to be here. I want to make sure... I'm going to kill that spider now. I'm going to hit him just to make him disappear. Go make sure I'm in the middle here so I fall right on the spider. If I get that bat up there a little bit further, I can actually jump up there. It saves not really a whole lot of time, but it looks very cool. Don't want to jump up here because there is a bat up there that you can't see. Take this hit. Alright, so we're on to the worst boss in this game, and it's the only time we're not going to be using a nail gun for him. So.
Yeah! That stage is just absolutely brutal. You're having to go to so many different places, run around, going through their specific corridors. Does not make it a very fast process, but...
Yeah, I am kind of salty about that death just because of where it happened, but I mean, I can't really. What am I gonna do about it now? So, just yeah, I can't get a deathless run in this game. It's impossible for me to do it. My world record run, I have the dumbest death possible, and it's because I was not able to get the hammer out when I needed it to go out. So this is basically a glorified cutscene, and basically got rejected from a DKC idea. Which, you know, that game is notorious for all of its cutscene boss fights. Though it's not really a cutscene because it is entirely random whether or not he wants to laugh at you or anything. We try to use the chainsaw just because it can control its trajectory a little bit better than any other weapon. So Jay, I got a strat that I've never used actually in 4-1. Should I go for it? It's it actually is a very tough jump to make, and if I fail it, I lose the power up. Should I go for it?
Oh boy. I mean, what would Tim do? Let's be honest.
He would say go for it. All right, we're going for it. So this is called the Fool's Pogo, and the reason why it's a Fool's Pogo is because it saves like not even a second. But it looks so cool when it happens. So let's see if I get it. There it is.
Tim just smashes his head into a ceiling for a little bit. Don't worry about it. There wasn't much there anyways.
So the reason why I do that is so I can keep the chainsaw, just so I can make it easier for me to get up there. Obviously, I wasn't able to do that very easily, so I actually kind of need that nail gun though. But I think I'm just gonna do it for real and not worry about it anymore. So this invulnerability is, it's kind of there, but I don't really need it for anything. Power up is the most important power up, so. I'm going to take a hit here because it's faster to take the hit than it is to actually get rid of them, but I need this power up still because the biggest time save trick is about to happen. I need to have the pogo out, or the jackhammer out here so I can bounce off the shooting star. I need to kill this eyeball because it's faster to kill him than it is to actually let him hit me now. So it takes 3 hammer hits, and since the hammer is so inconsistent, you have to be pretty much right in front of him. And there we go. So I have to get this hit on the robot, damage boost, now I can jump up here, I need to get back down here quickly so that I can get a UFO to come here. He's coming, so make sure he doesn't bonk. Take the hit, grab the power up, and jump back up here. That was perfect.
Sometimes it all comes together in this game. Sometimes it doesn't, for sure, but yeah. Every now and then. There you go.
That trick is not in my world record because I was not able to get it because the UFO was too high up.
Another big gold nut for Tim. Of course, this set representing the Season 7 space station that Home Improvement took upon all of its episodes. This is, I believe, representative of the time when Tim and the gang ended up having to fight off the alien invasion. I believe Jonathan Taylor Thomas ends up marrying an alien woman for a short time, and then they decided that was pretty wrong, given that he was kicked. So
I almost bonked in that shooting star that I could not see, so that was very lucky. I don't really need this hard hat, but I just like to have it in case I hit a shooting star or something. We call them shooting stars, but when Jay dropped the Hadouken line one time, I just kind of stuck with that one. So they are supposed to be shooting stars, but yeah. Hadouken!
Some crafty off-screen fireballs, of course, too. This is, definitely interesting. I think for the most part when Leaf has been going through like breakable walls, you see a lot of that hammer as you're seeing right there, but you kind of see the chainsaw and that spread come into play pretty nicely as you're able to predict the distancing a little bit more, and you're able to kind of clear out full walls through some of these corridors.
Oh, that one didn't jump up there. Normally I actually wouldn't have the chainsaw for this, but it's actually kind of convenient to have the chainsaw for quick block destruction. It is the fastest way to kill stuff like that. Later. Take the damage boost there so I can just get over here. Normally UFOs would spawn down there, but for some reason they didn't. And this eyeball jumped down, so he will not be up here, so I don't have to wait for him. Now, normally you look in the bottom right corner of the screen. I have 7 lives right now. That's not always going to be the case for this game. Sometimes the nuts and bolts that fly off after the stage is over, they're not as generous as as normal, like as this run is right now. It's like this game knows it's supposed to be a marathon safe run, but it wants to crush my hopes and dreams and stuff by giving me rotten RNG when I get hit. So I don't know what's going on with that game, but you gotta get your priorities straight. So I've actually rerouted this level 3 times, and this is the safest way to do it so that we can ensure that I have a power-up for the next level, because the next level I need the power-up. Like, it's a running theme with the game, obviously, that you have to have the power-up. But in order to make sure that it's the safest, I had to make sure we always had the power-up. So I'm not going to need that because I'm about to pick another one up. So that jump I just did there, it's very tight, and I have fallen in it several times and lost very good runs as a result. So here's where my world record death was. It was on this place right here. The hammer and the chainsaw just kind of made easy work of it. But the thing is, I'm not supposed to have the chainsaw at this moment, so it's kind of a bonus for not grabbing the nail gun at the beginning of the set and doing that full pogo strat, which loses runs if you miss it, by the way.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of adjustment. I remember a lot more nail gun strat going through those corridors for you before, so yeah, nicely done.
So I'm actually going to grab a nail gun now because I need to start powering it up for the last boss of the game. So, because there is only 4 sets in the game, and we are coming up on the final set. So I need to grab this nail gun, and I need to try to upgrade it as fast as I can. This UFO's not going to hit me, so... This is a little glitch here. This is the only time I can phase through using the grapple if I can hit it. There it is. If I can find more places for that to happen, I think this would be a great run to, you know, break. But so far, that and the hard hat are like the only 2 places I've been able to clip through something. Oh, I almost got hit there. That was close.
It's one of the really cool things about this run. In all of its like broken tech and jank controls, there's some really cool movement that's being shown off. You know, it's a lot of these tall jumps, utilizing the enemies, doing those like platform jumps and little like clips, that sort of thing. So it has like.
You're not gonna believe this, Jay. I'm 10 seconds ahead right now.
Well, there
what? We go. Okay.
Just clean routing.
Maybe that death was more of a detriment than I thought it was. Yeah. So I am 1 nail gun phase actually behind right now, so I need to make sure that I am playing it a little safer. Oh, that was a bad place to have that. But the good news is, normally because I don't have a nail gun, or I do have a nail gun here, I would take a 2-second penalty at the end of the stage because I'm going to end it with a power-up plus a fully powered-up nail gun. And you know, with the golden bolt, there's actually another bolt that appears because I am all powered up. And nope, I was not able to get all of them. Oh, I didn't think it was going to come in. Okay. Alright, well, we need to be a little safer now.
Oof.
Well, that was unfortunate. Game knows I'm on world record pace, but what is going on here? That eyeball has never been up there before, so what is that?
It's the marathon luck right there. That's
yeah, I couldn't see where I was going. That's a big loss too, because I'm going back to the part with the nail gun. I didn't have any bolts, and it's not too much of a problem at this point. It's just normally I would have the level 3. Why couldn't it do that the first time?
Yeah. It just finally broke apart for you in a good way, decent way, anyways.
I wanted to kill that shooting star there so I could come back easier, but it just didn't happen that time around. Maybe I should just do my old strats, because I just jumped it, YOLO'd it, and I didn't get hit. Oh, see how I wasn't on those spikes and I took a hit?
Yeah, just barely. Jeez.
Okay, I did kill that shooting star. So this is normal. I would just take the hammer hit here, but, you know, I'm just going to YOLO it. I do got a bolt coming up, so... It's a nut, not a bolt. Yeah, the last portion of this level is interesting because I don't have the power up now. So it becomes a little more difficult, and you have to sort of maneuver these eyeballs around now. So it's going to be a little interesting to manipulate their movement and stuff. There is no power up in this level, so yeah, it's not a bad place to get hit. I'm gonna hit this one and then kind of get under it, but yeah, that shooting star spawned in.
Yeah, the game just starts throwing stuff at you, and
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, sometimes that shooting star does not spawn, and there are moments in the run where I have lost it to a shooting star because it spawns sometimes, other times it doesn't. So, and one of them was after crate in stage 4-1. So this is the one where well, if I did it correctly, it would have been fine. I, for some reason, wanted to hit the A button again. If you were hit the first one, the sort of movement that you go with it will make it that they jump over you. So, alright, most difficult part of the run, or the most difficult part of stage 4 because I don't have the power up now. And it is quite devastatingly hard. So, I want to make sure this eyeball falls in the pit, and then jump over me. Now I have to shoot this star, go over it. It will not. Make sure I get these UFOs. By killing that shooting star, it will not appear here inside this little entryway here. But I'm just trying to be safe now because I don't have any nuts or bolts.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. And that doorway that you see in the middle of these two platforms, that's actually a soft lock in the game. You get up there, you are stuck, and you cannot get out of it. You have to wait for the timer to go out, and by the time it runs out, you might as well just reset. So, hasn't happened to me in a marathon yet, and hopefully it never does.
Yeah. That's what Wilson does on the space station. You end up getting caught in conversation with them. Game's over. Stuff.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have the nail gun, but there is a way to get it. I just need to remember how to do that. I think I'm just going to take the flamethrower and just call it safe. No. So, I just come over here. I'm just going to grab the flamethrower. Normally, you would have the level 3 nail gun. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys how that's supposed to look, so...
As long as you're not taking the dynamite.
Yeah, the dynamite, just... You might as well reset. And sometimes, like, even the random enemies, like the scorpions and the robots, they actually will drop weapons. So you can potentially kill one by running into it with a hard hat, and you'll end up with a weapon you absolutely do not want. So it's a run killer sometimes. Even the enemies, like killing them, has run killing RNG.
And of course, this robot representing the most devious Al Borland creation, the I Don't Think So Tim 3000.
So I don't think we haven't talked about this yet, but whoever stole these tools, man, they really went above and beyond to try and take Tim out, right? I mean, they hired this robot, they had a snake,
yeah,
a
they
little
must really
pharaoh mummy, and Count Dracula or whatever. It's like, man, they must really want Tim dead, right? And this robot might just be the most like devilish trick of all. But I'm going to take him out very soon. The time is going to be once the screen goes black after this, so he's dead. We're going to grab nuts and bolts again, and then the timer's going to go. I'm very happy with the run. I mean, I put an estimate of an hour on it, so it is time there. Even though I can press start here, it doesn't matter because the game itself will progress after this moment, so I don't have to press another button, so that's why we have time there. So... 47:43. That is a minute and 3 seconds behind my new world record that I got yesterday. So that's a very good time for home improvement. And you know, there was a couple failures there. Obviously, I died, but Just the general execution. I mean, I was doing 55-minute runs when Jay and I were doing this 3 years ago for SNES Superstars and Retrothon. So I've definitely come a long way with this one. So, and the ending sequence here, you find out who stole all these tools, and it comes up right here. Good work, Dad. We knew you could do it. Man, they must really want some, insurance benefits or something by taking out their dad. Man, what rotten kids, huh?
I mean, Tim has to have probably a hefty life insurance policy. I gotta imagine. It's only a matter of time before they're able to cash in on that.
Now, unfortunately, we made him. I don't know if we talked about it, but Wilson is nowhere to be found in this game. But since he's always behind the scenes, and you never actually see his face in the show, maybe he had a part in helping them make this all possible. Because I have.
Oh no.
I have no. I have a hard time believing that 3 kids and Al could have done all the stuff they did in this game to Tim. So.
Oh no, Wilson's pulling the strings. Trust me.
Not to mention, these tools are huge, so there's a lot of boxes that you have to claim for every single level. So that is going to do it for Home Improvement. So the credits, I mean, at the end of it all, these are the same team that created like the Simpsons games on NES. So they were sold off, I think. They used to be Imagineer, I believe. So it's the same people that did that. So if you enjoy stuff like that, this is kind of right up your alley. I have to get ready for the next run, because the next run coming up is Super Smash TV. I'm going to be on comms for that, along with LOZ Cards Fan, and we've got a very top-tier lineup, which I'll introduce when we get to that moment. So, any closing words, Step TOJ?
Oh no, it was great. This was a lot of fun. Have this again. Thank you, GG Speedruns. The 3rd anniversary tournament here. Third anniversary marathon here. Definitely awesome to be a part of, and hopefully, we're looking forward to some great Smash TV coming up. We got 4 of the best in the business. And just one more as we have.
Yeah, GG Speedruns, we cannot thank you enough for all that you've done for us, and I'm glad that you were able to provide you with the Home Improvement run, and we'll definitely be giving you runs in the future with the Smash TV stuff. But thank you for having me, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over back to you so we can get started on the next run. So Jay, thanks again, buddy. It's been great to have you here.
Absolutely.
And good night, everybody.